The rain fell in sheets that night, drumming against the windshield as Daniel parked his car outside the old St. Mary's Hospital. The building had been abandoned for nearly 2 decades, its windows shattered, its walls overgrown with vines, and its sign half hanging from rusted chains. Daniel wasn't there by accident. He was a freelance urban explorer, known online for breaking into abandoned places and documenting the supernatural. His audience craved darkness, and this time, he wanted to give them something unforgettable. Local legends said the hospital was cursed. Back in the 1980s, a deadly fire had swept through the East Wing, killing several patients and staff. Rumors claimed some bodies were never found. Others spoke of a room of no return, a locked ward where screams still echoed even after the hospital was condemned. With his camera strapped to his chest and a flashlight in hand, Daniel stepped through the broken entrance doors. The moment he entered, the sound of rain faded, as if the building swallowed it whole. Dust hung in the air like fog, and the faint smell of burnt wood still lingered. "All right," he whispered into his mic, "let's see if the stories are true." His flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing peeling paint, scattered wheelchairs, and broken IV stands. The silence was suffocating. Every step echoed like a heartbeat. He started recording in the main hallway, narrating as he moved. "This is the first floor. The operating theater should be ahead." His voice wavered slightly. The deeper he went, the colder the air became. It wasn't natural cold. It was heavy, pressing against his skin like invisible hands. Then came the sound. A faint click-clack echoed from behind him like footsteps on tile. He froze. "Hello!" echoed out nothing. Just the sound of his own breathing. He aimed his flashlight toward the end of the corridor. The beam flickered once, twice, and then stabilized. He caught something for a split second. A shadow darting across the hallway. "Probably just a rat," he muttered, though his voice trembled. He moved toward the old surgery wing where the fire had started. The double doors were still scorched black. As he pushed them open, the hinges screamed. Inside, surgical tables were overturned, and rusty tools were scattered across the floor. A cracked mirror on the wall reflected his light and something else. For a moment, he saw a figure standing behind him, pale, thin, wearing a nurse's cap. When he spun around, there was no one there, only empty air. His camera picked up static. The red light blinked erratically. "Okay," he said nervously, "that's enough for the East Wing. Let's check the lower level." He found the stairwell and descended. The steps creaked under his weight, echoing like whispers. The basement smelled of rot and mold. Old patient records were scattered across the ground, soaked from years of leaks. On one wall, spray-painted in dripping red letters, were the words, "Room 304, do not." Daniel's heart skipped. That was it. The rumored room, the room of no return. He followed the hallway, each step heavier than the last. When he reached the door, it was locked with a heavy chain. But as he turned to get a shot for his video, he heard a click. The chain slid loose on its own and dropped to the floor. He hesitated. Every instinct screamed to leave, but curiosity and pride pushed him forward. He opened the door. The room was small, with a single metal bed bolted to the floor. The walls were covered in scratch marks, as if someone had tried to claw their way out. In the center of the room was a pile of old hospital gowns, and beneath them, something moved. Daniel raised his flashlight. The gowns shifted, slowly revealing a face. A burned, half-melted face, staring directly at him. The eyes were black voids, the mouth sewn shut. The thing began to crawl toward him, bones cracking with each movement. Daniel screamed and stumbled back, dropping his camera. The flashlight rolled, its beams spinning wildly across the walls. In the chaos, he heard whispers, hundreds of them, all around him. "Stay. Help us. Don't leave." Hands reached from the floor, pale and twisted, grabbing his ankles. He kicked and ran out of the room, sprinting up the stairs as the lights flickered violently. Behind him, the door slammed shut with a metallic clang. When he finally reached the main hall, his camera was gone. He bolted through the entrance and into the pouring rain, gasping for air. The next morning, authorities found his car still parked outside St. Mary's. The doors were unlocked. His keys were in the ignition. But Daniel was gone. Weeks later, another explorer uploaded footage from the hospital. Heidi found Daniel's camera in the basement. The final clip showed Daniel standing in room 304, staring into the darkness. Then, the faint sound of a woman's voice whispered, "Welcome home." And the screen went black. To this day, locals say on stormy nights, you can still see a faint light flickering inside St. Mary's Hospital. If you listen closely, you might hear the echo of Daniel's voice, calling for help from the other side.